What's up, everybody? I'm back after my hiatus. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. I took like a 3-week break just because, man, if I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't feeling the best. Alright, I would come home tired every day, but I'm not here to complain. I'm here to give you my UFC 296 official predictions. Okay, this card is today. Alright, and this is really last minute. And I know that. And I know that this probably isn't going to get many views. But I just want to get my picks out there in the universe just so I have some proof of them. Alright? Before we get into that, though, I'm just going to say, guys, this is the last card of the year. And I've really been skipping out on making videos for other fight cards, recaps, predictions, all that. So I just want to say I'm sorry. Alright? And going into next year, I'm going to be a lot better. I'm going to be way more consistent with all types of content. Alright, so yeah, alright, I had a little bit of a burnout by the end of this year, but next year I'm coming back strong. Next week I'm going to be uploading consistently. I already have a few videos done. Alright, with that being said, let's get into the predictions. Alright, I have a slideshow for the main 5, but for the not main 5 we're going to be going on the UFC website. Alright, with that being said, Martin Buday versus Shamil Gaziev. Guys, Shamil Gaziev, I believe he's coming off of the Contender Series with a win. And Martin Buday somehow is coming off of a win. Alright, but if I'm going to be honest, guys, I think Shamil Gaziev is going to get this one done. Just because he's a little less fat, right? He's 5 pounds less fat, alright? And it's his debut. He seems like a Dagestani guy. If I'm going to be honest, guys, I don't give too much of a fuck about this fight. But I think he's probably going to find a submission on Martin Buday because I don't think Martin Buday is actually that good. And if Shamil Gaziev doesn't win this fight, then he is ass. You know what I mean? He has every advantage in the book, although they are the same height. So, yeah. With that being said, Shamil Gaziev, submission, round 1 or 2. Alright, Andre Fili versus Lucas Almeida. I'm going to be picking Andre Fili to win this fight by a second round KO. Okay? I think that he has way more power than Lucas Almeida. Lucas Almeida got into the UFC after losing a Dana White Contender Series fight. I don't know if Dana just liked him so much, so he brought him in. He tends to do that with guys he shouldn't. I don't know if he was a late replacement for someone. I don't know. Alright, but I don't think Lucas Almeida is all that good. I think his UFC record is like 1-2. Or maybe 1-1 because I'm counting the Contender Series. So, anyways, guys, with that being said, Andre Fili, round 2 KO. Probably within the first minute, if I were to guess. And I think he'll win round 1 as well. Alright, guys. I'm just trying to blow through these so we can get to the main card, alright? Alright, flyweight bout. Tagir Ulanbekov versus Cody Durden. My god, Tagir is an abomination of a human. Sorry, guys, did I say that out loud? My bad. Honestly, I don't give a fuck. I think I'm going to pick Tagir Ulanbekov just because on paper, like on Anthony Smith's paper, he has all the advantages, you know what I mean? I don't think Cody Durden is anything too special. Tagir's from Russia, and I'm not even going to act like I have too much to say about that fight. I don't care about that fight much. I'm going to watch it, though, of course. Alright, now moving on to the prelims. Okay, we got Casey O'Neill versus Ariana Lipski. I'm going Casey O'Neill just because, you know, she's a women's flyweight, and that takes some real heart and skill. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, then don't worry about it. But anyways, Casey O'Neill probably win this fight decision. I'm just going with her because she's ranked. I think she is technically better. And I'm not saying she's about to show a level. Alright, if anything, this is probably going to be a 2-1. Maybe even a split decision, just because that's how women's MMA goes. Yeah, they're going to be shadowboxing and clinching for 15 minutes. And I think Casey O'Neill will get the better of it. Alright. Now, Cody Garbrandt versus Brian Kelleher. Alright, man, I'm rooting for Cody Garbrandt. And I'm picking Cody Garbrandt, okay? Brian Kelleher, he hasn't had the best UFC run. Now, with that being said, neither has Cody Garbrandt. However, whether we want to admit it or not, he does have championship experience. He does have 5-round experience. He does have knockout power. and he is pretty fast. You know what I mean? He's quick. He's flashy. He won his last fight, which is impressive. Okay, just because of the streak that Cody Garbrandt has been on. But I actually don't think it's that bad. All right, now hear me out. Obviously, 2 losses to TJ Dillashaw by KO. Pedro Munoz lost by KO. All right, and then he picked up the win against Rafael Assunção, which was a good win at the time. With that being said, he went on to lose to Rob Font, but he went 5 rounds, all right? And after that, he gets chinned at flyweight, okay? After that, he wins a fight at bantamweight earlier this year, in March, I believe. So what I'm getting at is I kind of think Cody's chin is making a comeback, okay? Because obviously he was knocked out 2 years ago in December on UFC 269, but that was at flyweight, and then before that, it had been a little while. So I'm picking Cody Garbrandt just to kind of show levels and honestly get a first round KO. First or second round KO, early second, late first. I think Cody Garbrandt's going to get it done. And if he gets it done, I want him to rematch Dominic Cruz. All right, I think that's a great fight to make. Okay, moving up on the card. Irene Aldana versus Kel Rosa. Irene Aldana decision. Honestly, not much to say about it. I think it's going to be a lackluster fight. Decision fight, unanimous, if it matters. Irene Aldana, she does have the 5-round championship experience, even though she looked like she completely shit her pants in front of Amanda Nunes. It is what it is. But she does have that experience under her belt. And she does have some finishing potential, honestly. I mean, what was the fight? Macy Chasson, I think. She finished the fight with an up kick to the liver. Alright, I know that's like a 1 in a billion thing to happen. And I'm not saying we're going to see that again. But I do think Irene Aldana can actually finish this fight. I just don't think she will. Alright, so I'm picking her by decision. Alright, moving up on the card. Alonzo Menifield versus Dustin Jacoby. I think Dustin Jacoby is just going to kind of put on a kickboxing clinic. Okay, he's a much better kickboxer. He has that glory experience. However, Alonzo Menifield, you don't want to get clipped by this guy. Alright? And I actually think Alonzo Menifield is going to knock down Justin I almost said Dustin Poirier. Justin Jacoby. I think he will knock him down. Maybe at the end of a round, and then the round will end and then it's over. You know what I mean? But I think that he's going to rally back and win the last 2 rounds. And it'll be a 29-28 unanimous decision victory for Dustin Jacoby. Alright, he's making a run to the title. He's going to rematch Alex Pereira. Okay, now we're on the main card. Alright, so we're going to go back to the slideshow. And we're going to hit slideshow. Alright. And let's get into Josh Emmett versus Bryce Mitchell. Alright, let's get into it. I have kind of shat all over Josh Emmett in his last 2 fights. I picked Yair to beat him. I picked Ilya to beat him. I've called him a goblin. I said he was going to get finished both times, which he did on one of them. But he showed tremendous toughness and heart in his last fight against Ilya Topuria. So, with that being said, I'm predicting Josh Emmett to win this fight by 3rd round KO. And I'm going to read my slideshow here, guys, because I gave a pretty detailed explanation. But I think they're going to go 1 apiece in the 1st round. Okay, I think Josh Emmett will win the 1st round. More damage, outstriking him, stuffing the takedowns. And then Bryce will wake up in the 2nd round and realize, fuck, I got to grapple. And he's going to really try harder for the takedowns. And I think if Bryce really tries, he's going to show that farmer strength. He's going to get it done. He will get Josh Emmett down and just kind of lay on him. Alright, I don't think Bryce will do much damage from top position. I said he's going to body trip him because I don't think he's just going to straight double leg him or single leg him. And yeah, so I think they're going to be 1 apiece. And then round 3, Josh Emmett will realize if he loses this fight, that's a 3-fight L streak, arguably a 5-fight L streak, okay? If you think he beat Cater, if you think he beat Ige, then that's alright, but it is what it is. And I think he's going to just rally back and clip Bryce with some big looping punch, like a uppercut or a hook, and he's going to win the fight by KO. Okay, Bryce Mitchell, although he won his last fight, I actually think it could have went either way against Dan Ige, and he was getting clipped by Dan Ige at times, and Dan Ige was defending the takedowns. And I think if Dan Ige is defending your takedowns, if you're getting clipped by Dan Ige, I mean, Josh Emmett's like a level, like a little better than Dan Ige. He's obviously more powerful. So yeah, long story short, Josh Emmett, round 3 KO. Moving on to Tony Ferguson versus Paddy Pimble. I really want to say Tony's going to win this. Okay, I've been hearing Tony all fight week talk about how he's a new man and how he's different now and he's going to win this fight. The only issue is we've heard it all before. Okay, I believed him when he said that when he was fighting Bobby Green. And I was like, you know what? I think Tony's got this. And I fucking picked Tony to beat Bobby Green, which was a horrible pick. And it was like one of the only fights I got wrong on that card too, which, whatever. Anyways. Yeah, so I want to pick Tony off of heart, but that backfired for me last time. But I think Tony has a good chance, man. The only thing that's making me pick Paddy is the physicality. Alright, he's younger and stronger. He's closer to his prime. I put prime in quotes because I still don't think Paddy's prime is anything crazy. I think Paddy's prime is beating someone like Tony Ferguson. I don't think he beats anyone on the caliber of Bobby Green, Drew Dober, fucking Moicano, and any of those lower ranked, like barely top 15 or like just out of the top 15 guys. I think Paddy will lose to. But yeah, I mean, Tony is just on a decline. He's a shell of his former self, and for that reason, I think Paddy is gonna find the rear naked choke in the second or third round. But don't be surprised if Tony wins a round. Okay, I think he might win a round. I actually wouldn't be surprised if he drops Paddy, because Tony has knocked a few of his opponents off balance. He knocked down Bobby Green and Michael Chandler. It wasn't like a clean punch, snap their head back knockdown, but he put him on the ground for a second. So I won't be surprised if Tony does that again. I just don't know if he has the power to shut Paddy's lights out. You know what I mean? So yeah, Paddy Pimble, unfortunately, that's the pick. Alright, Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Stephen Thompson. I think this fight is going to be competitive. I see a lot of people saying that, oh, Shavkat is going to just school him or like dominate him. I don't think so, honestly. Unless Wonderboy's takedown defense is just god awful, which it has been before. Alright, I'm not saying it's like super improved, but unless he just can't defend a takedown for his life, I think it's going to be competitive. And every time I play this fight out in my head, I see Wonderboy catching him with some spinning shit. But then I have to remember that Shavkat isn't Kevin Holland. You know what I mean? And I know how unlikely it is that Wonderboy catches him with something like that. So my pick is Shavkat. But I do think that if the fight goes to a decision, I think Wonderboy has it. Honestly, I think he's going to outstrike him. And like, unless he just gets totally wet blanketed in like 2 of the 3 rounds, I honestly think Wonderboy would get it by decision. But I think Shavkat is really good at having urgency and realizing when he needs to finish a fight. And yeah, I'm picking Shavkat by round 2 submission after getting clipped in the first. And like I said, maybe a RNC, but I can also see a guillotine. Alright, so whoever wins this fight is my pick. Just kidding, guys. The pick is Shavkat. But now we're moving on to Alexandre Pantoja versus Brandon Royval. I'm picking Pantoja to get this one done pretty quickly, like second or third round at the latest. I think Pantoja will... No, not Pantoja. Shoot. I think Royval will show improvements from the last fight, and they actually had a pretty close fight up until the finish 2 years ago. But I think that the biggest problem for Royval is that Pantoja is so damn tough, and he just doesn't give a fuck, right? Like, that's how he fights. He's so tough. He's too much of a dog, even though Royval is raw dog, okay? I think Pantoja has the power advantage, and I think that the first round will be close. I think we're going to see some wicked scrambles. The ground exchanges from these guys was super fun last time, but Pantoja does have the BJJ advantage, and that's no secret, obviously. And yeah, I just think Pantoja will win the first round by outstriking, and in the second round, Pantoja will drop him and finish him. I got to sneeze. I'm pausing my video. Alright, I got that sneeze out. Where was I? Yeah. I think Pantoja in the second round is going to drop him and finish him with ground and pound or a rear naked choke. So it can be a TKO or a submission. I'm still picking Pantoja to get it done after a knockdown. Alright, now I just want to say real quick, I picked Pantoja to beat Moreno. I'm really proud of that. And I think he rightfully won that fight. And I fuck with Pantoja, man. I think he's really good. And I think if he wins this fight, I think he's going to go on a little bit of a run. Like maybe 3 or 4 title defenses. So yeah, I think he's a beast. The only thing that worries me with him is the age. I think he is a little older for a flyweight. If I'm not mistaken, I think he's like 33, 34. Shit, I don't know. But either way, I think Pantoja is actually really good. And he's going to show levels. Alright, moving on to the main event of the evening. We got Leon Edwards versus Colby Covington, okay? This is the true story. I met Leon Edwards in July, alright? And if you guys see my videos where I have face cam, I don't have my camera right now, that's why it's not a face cam. But you'll see that in my background, on a shelf, I have a UFC championship belt pillow, okay? It's a pillow, it's not a real belt. But I have Leon Edwards' signature on it. I also have a picture with Leon. I'm not going to show it though because I look like shit. But I met him in July at the International Fight Week. I waited like an hour in line. I also met Charles Oliveira. I'm just going to throw that in there while I'm talking about it. But yeah. And I told Leon to his face. We took the picture. I shook his hand. I said, hey, you're going to knock out Colby, I think. And he goes, facts, bruv. Facts. You guys know Edwards. And I still think that is true. Now, I know Leon isn't much of a finisher throughout his career, but I think that as a champion, I think there's some truth to, I forgot who the fuck said it, but someone said you get 30% better as the champion. And I think Leon really showed that in his trilogy against Usman. He looked great. He looked the best he's ever looked. And I think that he's only going to be getting more confident. And he's only going to keep sharpening the tools and being more refined. And yeah, I'm picking Leon by KO. Now, I am worried about the chain wrestling from Colby. Because Usman is like a shoot one takedown every 2 minutes type of guy. You know what I mean? Colby, he'll shoot one, shoot another, shoot another. It's nonstop. It's chain wrestling. So I am worried about that. But I think that hopefully his camp has prepared him. If not, then Jesus fuck, what are they doing? But I think especially after the Usman camps and preparing for Colby, I think he's going to be super ready. And yeah, I'm picking Leon by championship rounds, TKO, 4th or 5th. I think he's going to be chopping up the leg of Colby, and I think he's going to get it done. He's going to slow Colby down. He's going to really brutalize that leg and make Colby not want to shoot as much. And I think he's eventually going to find something. I think he's going to find a punch up the middle, okay? Or a kick. If we're going to get super specific, boys, I think a knee, a front kick, or like a straight jab is going to put Colby down. Maybe they break off of the clinch and he lands it, or maybe it's just out in the open. I don't know for sure. I do want to say that it is hard to see Colby lose a decision when Trump is in the building. Alright? Like, I think he's really going to be on point early, and like I seriously think he doesn't want to lose in front of Trump. And he'd have so much shame, and I think it might just be enough to motivate him And I'm also worried that Leon might have an adrenaline dump after the press conference yesterday. That's why I wait so long to make my prediction videos, guys. I wait to see how the press conference goes. But I'm still picking Leon by TKO in the 4th or 5th round. Alright, this video is over, guys. I'm back. More videos next week. I'm sorry for the delay. We back, baby.